Okay. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Welcome to our meeting of April 22nd. Next, we have moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor McGuinness, that this meeting be open at 7 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, second by Councillor Corbett, that the agenda presented to council and dated the 22nd day of April 2025 be adopted as presented. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest in general nature thereof? None. Next, we have the adoption of the previous minutes. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Clark, that the minutes of the regular council meeting on April 8, 2025 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have presentation and delegation. No delegation, right? For David, the Integrity Commissioner's 2024 annual report. Who is that? Andre will give it, or it's just there?
No, it's right
No,
there.
he's on Zoom.
It's right there.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I think whenever you're ready, David.
Muted.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. The report is very brief. There was very little activity. There was one complaint received during the entire year, my first year of retainer, which was dismissed without even an investigation. There was just one request for advice on a code of conduct matter, which was dispensed. We had a training session back in February, which I hope you all found useful and informative. There was no disclosure statement receipt during this period with respect to gifts and benefits. And I encourage you all to contact me if you have any questions or concerns about your role or any code of conduct or municipal conflict of interest matter. Beyond that, I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Just one. Are all of the submissions made in writing? Do they, like, is there something that it has to be in writing or no?
Code of conduct complaints?
Yeah, any complaint.
Any complaint has to be in writing. I will not accept a verbal complaint. I mean, there have been occasions where, not with your municipality, where a person has called to see if they had a valid complaint or to see if it was worth making a complaint, and I would listen and I'd say, well, I can't say definitively, but you need to put it in writing if you want a definitive answer. There are times when I've said, no, that's just not within my jurisdiction. That's not a code matter. So sometimes they are dealt with informally, but if it's an actual complaint, I require it to be in writing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
No questions. Thank you.
No questions.
Okay, thank you very much for the report. And right now we don't seem to have any questions, so thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thanks, David.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good
Go
night. Thank you.
Leafs.
Now we have a complaint.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay,
Good
good
night.
night. Okay, next started my next we have nobody for the question period.
Sorry, your worship, there's a motion accepting the report.
Yeah. Okay. Moved by Counselor Featherstone, second by Counselor McGinnis. The council for the Township of Bonnfield accepts the 2024 report from the Integrity Commissioner as presented. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Next we have a staff report from the office clerk with respect to TD Friends of the Environment grant application.
I can speak to it if you want, but generally speaking, the recommendation is that council accepts the report on the township's application to the TD Friends of the Environment Foundation for funding to support the Bonneville Community Garden for information purposes. So earlier this year, the township submitted a funding application to TD Friends in the amount of $7,443 to support the Bonneville Community Garden project. The grant was intended to cover the cost of supplies for raised garden beds, trellises, seeds and plants, and materials for creating pathways throughout the garden. At the time of the application, the Recreation and Fitness Committee, together with the township staff, carefully considered the best location for this initiative. It is important to note that there was no active community garden in Rutherglen at the time. The only existing garden space had consisted of 4 donated planters, which were unfortunately stolen prior to the last summer. In recent years, no volunteer involvement was present, and the space was maintained solely by public works staff as part of their routine grass cutting. So by comparison, the Bonnfield Hamlet offered a solid foundation with existing garden beds, signage, a history of community involvement, and a central accessible location near the school, in the seniors housing, and the food bank, and of course the township facilities as well. So as such, the application focused on enhancing and sustaining the Bonnfield Community Garden while remaining open to future opportunities elsewhere as interest in volunteers and resources allow. Understanding it's in the Bonnfield Hamlet, but it is the Bonnfield Community Garden. So since we've received a response from the TD Friends of the Environment advising that our application was not selected for funding. So a copy of the letter is in your package as well. So although this funding application was not successful, the Recreation and Fitness Committee and the township staff remain committed to promoting the Bonnfield Community Garden as a welcoming town-wide initiative, and all residents, including those from Rutherglen and the wider Bonnfield Township, are encouraged to participate, volunteer, and help this community space continue to grow. But without the funds, then it's, will the projects continue, or will there be improvements, or we'll have to look for alternative ways to do that.
And they didn't say why, right?
No, it's a very oversubscribed fund, so it's a hard grant to get.
Okay.
Your worship, I'd like to
Yeah,
add on to that.
okay.
I just want to say how unfortunate that a couple individuals, in the township have tried to divide the community garden, the community over the community garden, like with misinformation. A claim from a previous councillor has stated that the community vegetable garden was created in 2012 with a Community in Bloom's funding. I went back and to clarify and looked in the minutes of the Recreation Committee in 2016. The garden was created by the Community Rec Committee and their volunteers. So we reviewed the minutes and it clearly states 2016. And it's just unfortunate that people have gone to great lengths to turn such a positive place into something so negative now. It's shameful.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure doesn't bring much community to the community garden.
So what you'll have to do is go ahead with the intentions that you had to put a garden there, and I know Norm Shepherd wants to put one out in Rutherglen, and you just have to remain positive and see what could come out for the community. And it's kind of disheartening when you didn't get the grant neither.
Yeah, I mean,
It's,
my wife spent a lot of time researching these grants and all
Yeah.
this. I mean, it's a long shot, but you don't know until you try.
Well, yeah, if you don't try for sure, you're not getting it
Right.
right. Well, that's too bad, but I'm sure everybody will get their garden going now.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have the two locations for sure. I think it'll help, people that live in Rutherglen that maybe don't want to travel in or can just kind of walk to maybe that location. And like I said before, that one will be pretty easy to get going as long as you're looking for donations and sponsors from the public, from both individuals as well as companies. This community has always been very giving when there's a special project or something that people are passionate about that they're trying to fundraise for. I don't think it would be very difficult. I've already seen on social media, people willing to donate fence posts, people willing to donate concrete. I've seen
Yeah, they want to give
Public
everything.
Works said that they would do snow
Yeah.
fencing for now. Like lots of people have already stepped up to say that they would support a garden in Rutherglen, which is great. And I mean, this one didn't happen overnight either. This one's been there for a while. And it took, Dan and Mel last year, a lot of hours and a lot of their own time and a lot of their own resources just to get it to where it is there. And they had plans to make it even bigger and better. So this stuff doesn't happen overnight, especially in a small community, but you got to start somewhere and it does start back with the community as well.
Yeah, very good.
I think Jason,
Yeah, or the
Sorry.
only thing I would add is just, I would hope and trust that this council would obviously treat both gardens equitably. If the township is stepping up to do something for one garden, we would consider the other garden as well. I think that that would be the equitable and fair thing to do. So yeah, I don't think we've looked to divide. Nothing we have done is look to divide the two gardens. And you're right, Councilor McGinnis. I saw a number of social media posts which were unfortunate when that divide is not legitimate from any standpoint that we've taken from the municipality wanting to be equitable between the two gardens. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, I'm going to say there's going to be gardens in both areas.
Yeah. That's the good news.
That's a
good
good
news.
thing. Yep. Next, we have the adoption of committee minutes.
So, your worship, there is a motion to adopt the report.
Okay. Report from our CAO on TD Friends and Environment Grant application, moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Featherstone, that council accepts this report on the township's application to the TD Friends of the Environment Foundation, TDFPF, for funding to support the Bonfield Community Garden for information purposes. All in favor? Carried. Now we've moved to the adoption of the committee minutes. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor McGinnis. Whereas the Bonfield Public Library Board has recommended to council to approve the Bonfield Public Library Board remuneration and expenses policy, be it hereby resolved that council approves of the recommendation. All in favor? Carried. I skipped the Recreation Committee. I'd like to say about with the Recreation Committee, we had a very nice, happy Easter out there for the children, and it was so nice to see them all dressed up and running around checking for Easter eggs. We had an Easter bunny at my daughter's place, hid all the eggs outside. And before the little guy got out there to get them, the squirrels got them and they took them away. So my daughter said she hasn't seen squirrels all week, so they must be sick from the chocolate. But that was really nice and the Easter bunny with the suit, and he was so friendly with everybody. He didn't mind getting in there and getting his pictures taken. So I
And
say
that,
kudos to the Recreation Committee.
that event again was started by a community initiative. That was started by one community member that kind of ran it on her own for a year or two, and then, you know, got the rec committee involved, and that's kind of taken over. It's definitely grown. It'll continue to grow every year, but again, that was started by the community as well. So,
And do you know how many children you had?
we had 80 baskets or bags for people, and we
Had 6 left.
basically ran out.
Yeah.
It's grown every year, and that's including with the weather not being super ideal.
Yeah, it was
So
raining when I was
I-
up there.
I think we have potential to get to 100 next year and so on. It'll grow every year.
Yeah, well, it was good to see the kids.
I also just want to say that I don't think we talked about the trade show at the last meeting, and it was excellent. It was well attended. You know, the vendors were amazing. It was packed. And just want to shout out to Holly and Sheena and Sylvie, and of course Cassandra. So they are doing an amazing job.
Very good. I saw on Facebook, but I was sick, so I couldn't go, so, but I didn't see what was happening there. That was good. Okay, any items for council discussion? None for this session. And next we have resolutions to be considered for adoption. First of it's the accessibility plan revision. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor Clark. The council for the township of Bonfield accepts the revised 2025 to 2029 accessibility plan, and that it be posted to the website. All in favor? Carried. Next, looks like we're getting some funding for Canada Day. Celebrate Canada Day grant. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Corbett. The council for the township of Bonfield acknowledges the acceptance of the Celebrate Canada funding in the amount of $1,060 for specific Canada Day celebration expenses. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the Rock and Horse Riding Association donation request. Do we have anything for that
There's one before that.
after this?
No,
Oh,
there's a motion
okay,
before the rocking horse.
okay. So next we have. Yep, moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor McGuinness. The council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-22, being a bylaw to establish the Bonfield Public Library Resource Center and the Bonfield Public Library Board as presented, and is considered read 3 times and passed this 22nd day of April 2025. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next we have the, oh, I skipped it here, right? Next, we have the Rock and Horse Riding. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor Corbett. Whereas the Rock and Horse Riding Association has submitted a donation request application in support of their youth programming, be it hereby resolved that council approves a donation of.
They didn't put a donation amount in.
No. But they did tell us the available packages. So a live announcement throughout the show. There's bronze, the silver, and gold. So it's, you know, 50 to 199 is bronze, and it lists, you get a live announcement throughout the show, business card, a logo on social media, and poster at booth for $199. So
Much, Donna?
199. And then silver, which starts at 200, gets you an additional banner or sign display at the show, membership fee included. So that's at $200, which is kind of what we normally
Yeah.
give, right? Is
Yeah.
the 200. So that's, so you get the live announcement throughout the show, business card or logo on social media, poster at booth, and banner or sign displayed at show, and then membership fee is included.
For 199.
for two
for
hundred.
200.
Oh,
For
okay,
for $1
For
more.
$1 more.
Heck of a deal.
Yeah,
okay. So be it resolved, the council approves a donation of $200. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have correspondence. And there's quite a large amount, so we have a motion to accept the correspondence.
I have,
Oh.
I have a.
Pardon?
So I would just like to bring back in the correspondence for the next meeting, the last two, which is the town of Amherstburg and the town of Rideau Lakes in the for the strong mayor's powers.
Okay, so you don't want those two?
No, I want them to come back. I want motions at the next meeting.
Okay. And anyone else? Any other motion?
Well, there is a motion for the executive award from Phenom.
Okay,
So because there wasn't time, Andre or the deputy clerk brought forward the motion so that we can vote on it. So basically what it's saying is Phenom has nominated Vic Fideli for the award, the executive award, just for his contribution to Northern Ontario and what he's done. Personally, parties aside or politics aside, I feel that Vic Fideli has done a lot for the community as an individual, so I would be in support of this award, regardless of the color.
Right.
yes, we do have a motion at that.
Yes,
Okay, so then I guess I'll just do the motion for the all the correspondence. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, second by Councillor Clark, that council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of April 22nd, 2025. All in favor? Carried. No closed session. And then I guess we'll go back here. Moved by Nary Paquette, second by Steve Featherstone, whereas the mission of the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, Phenom, is to enhance the economic and social quality of life for all Northerners and to ensure a prosperous future for our youth. And whereas Phenom is seeking nominations to its 2025 Executive Award, and whereas Council for the City of North Bay has submitted information to councils within the region of its nomination of Victor Fideli for this award. Now therefore it be resolved that the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Bonfield supports the City of North Bay's nomination of Victor Fideli for the 2025 Phenom Executive Award, recognizing his exceptional and enduring contribution to the enrichment and betterment of the lives of Northern Ontario residents and his unwavering commitment to promoting the mission and objectives of Phenom at both regional and provincial levels. And furthermore, that a copy of this resolution be sent to Phenom and the City of North Bay. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Next, we have the confirmatory bylaw. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Featherstone, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2025-21 to confirm the proceedings of council from April 8, 2025 to April 22nd, 2025, as presented, and is considered read 3 times and passed this 22nd day of April 2025. 2025, all in favor? Carried. Now, I don't know if anybody wants to do this one.
Heck, yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah, it is 7:24.
Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Featherstone, that this meeting be adjourned at 7:24 p.m. All in favor? Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Now I can go have my steak.
Hey, you're